A warm welcome to Anuradha Vedic Astrology. Today, we are going to talk about the transit of Jupiter into the sign of Aries. But before that, a big thanks to all of you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to our YouTube and Spotify channels and writing in your suggestions and your comments there. If you haven't subscribed to us, do remember to subscribe and press the bell icon so that you can get the updates ASAP. This Guru transit, unlike most of the Guru transits, is going to be different from all. Why so? For two reasons. First and foremost, Guru moves into the sign of Aries, the first Rashi of the Kal Purush Kundali. So, the Rashi of new beginnings, new ventures is very much on the way. What more, this Guru here forms the Guru Chandal Yoga with Rahu, which is often not looked upon greatly, but it gives us an out-of-box thought approach. And this is also being aspected by Saturn, which gives one the ability to create. This Saturn, Jupiter, and Rahu combination gives one great ability to create something which is different from everything else. So this is an important transit to look out for. Without wasting much time, let's begin with the Lagnas. So let's start with Guru transiting into Aries for all the Lagnas and how they give the results, starting from the Mesh Lagna. For the Aries Lagna, we see that Guru has moved over the Lagna with Rahu and being aspected by Saturn from the 11th house. This typically talks about financial buildings and building of things on a very strong financial level. However, one should not be investing without much study, in-depth of study, especially in real estate. Otherwise, going deep into studies and doing business with out-of-box approach, especially in share markets, would do good for you. Your children will definitely bring you joy in a manner which is unconventional, and you will also find interest in doing some constructive work towards increasing your educational knowledge. It could be in an area of para-vidya. This Rahu-Jupiter combination on your Lagna is going to stay for a better part of this year, and hence it is likely to show you your spouse in a new light. You should also be having the wisdom to understand and accept your spouse as such. Health sees that you are likely to venture into areas of alternate methods of therapy, alternate healing methods, and it's most likely to succeed for you. Your health will be robust, as Jupiter very well take care of your health issues sitting on the Lagna. It is a time when you would be looking out for new methods of learning also, and making new teachers, meeting new people, traveling to new places. And so for travel also, this is a good way to begin life. As far as finance is concerned, this, as I said, your investments should be properly studied and should be properly made. Make investments in those sectors or areas where others are not doing. It will give you results, long-term results, sudden results after a period of 3 years. Now, let us move on to the Taurus Lagna. For the Taurus Lagna people, this is a combination of Jupiter, Rahu, and Saturn in your 12th house. And what does Jupiter have to give to you? Your 11th Lord in the 12th house tells you that it is time to earn from MNCs. So for those people who are looking for a job change, especially into an MNC, it's a good period to do so. It is also a time when you are likely to donate much, and if you don't donate, I am sorry to say that, but there can be certain ways where you might have some expenditure towards hospitals. So it's best to donate towards charities, especially relating to children, hospitals, and to some orphanage. As far as your work or home front is concerned, For those who want to rebuild a house, for those who want to purchase a house, this is a good time because money which is supposed to be spent will be spent on a constructive purpose. And you can always build a house or renew a house in a very different manner, which will again add on to the USP of your house. As far as children are concerned, they could be wanting to, for those who are wanting to sit for competitive exam or higher studies, they need to pay attention to those subjects that are not in their comfort zone. Once they move out of their comfort zone, they will do well in those competitive exams. For those children who want to get into the set of working, that is for you, your children who want to go into a working mode, it's very nice for them to move into a smaller area and then think of doing it in a bigger area later. When we talk about the kind of health issues a person can have with this Jupiter-Rahu combination, I would suggest people to be very careful about what they are eating, because as it affects your sixth house, it is likely that it can give you stomach ailments. So be very careful about your eating habits and refrain from eating too much of sweets. That will be good for you. Let us now move on to the Gemini Lagna. For the Gemini Lagna people, your 11th house and your 3rd house are highly active. What does that relate to? It is time that you expand your circle of friends, of associations to a great deal. What more, if you mingle with people who are outside your comfort zone, who are not within your circle of friends or people you have been associating with so far, if you manage to mingle with people who are of foreign nature to you, you are likely to be able to do a lot of constructive work with them and also increase your income quotient. It is a time when you have the ability to speak on matter which are beyond your comfort zone, which and make good influence on people with that. That means with Saturn, Mars, and Saturn, Rahu, and Jupiter aspecting your 3rd house, you have the ability to convince people, to leave an impression on people with the way you talk, with the way you lead yourself. So be an impressive front there and do things, speak of things which are out of box, and it will be good for you. On the health front, it is time that you reinstate a good habit that you had and had let it go on earlier on. That good habit will bring back a lot of good health quotients for you. Otherwise, there are chances that you may be engrossed with a disease that may be very difficult to decide on a later date or to understand on a later date. As far as your spouse is concerned, you will maybe, those who are wanting to get married and are attracted towards people of a different caste, creed, religion, or a thought process, they're most likely to make advancements in those areas. For those who want to go abroad or want to settle abroad, this is a time when you can make that happen and work on it, and it is likely to take form in the later part of this year. For those who are studying, for those students, you may not feel very happy studying, or you may not feel the need because of revision, but that's the key to your getting a good seat, a good place in the universities or in the higher classes. As far as your home and hearth is concerned, this is something that is going to be a normal life, not much affected, because your 4th house remains unaffected after a period of a month or so. Let us talk about the Cancer Lagna. For the Cancer Lagna, with the 6th, the 10th house are well connected, and so is the 2nd house. Finance and business may seem very stressful at the moment, but it is likely to change from a month of now. So you need to pay special attention to any foreign contract coming your way. What more, you need to bring in a lot of changes which will help you to establish yourself as a foreign friendly entrepreneur more. For those into a job, your job profile is likely to change drastically after a month or so. Your children are going to be the shining light for you for some time, and their ingenuity is likely to take you unawares and make you very happy of that fact. It is a good time to start repaying certain loans that you have. Make sure that it is done during the tenure of moon in the Anuradha Nakshatra. For those who want to pick up a habit, you can take up a day-to-day activity kind of a habit like cooking, gardening, photography, all these things, and they're going to give you a major enhance in your life. You can also, once you've developed the skill greatly, work on it and see if you can do something about it as a side business. Health-wise, it is a good period when you kick in a good habit and stay focused on that good habit. So, all in all, the Cancer period for the Cancer Lagna, this is a small period of stress just for a month. Stay focused, stay put well enough there so that Rahu and Jupiter in Ashwini do not allow you to get overwhelmed and leave the matter half-faced. That can be a little detrimental for you. For the Leo Lagna, this entire period is very beautiful because Jupiter, your fifth lord, enters into your ninth house. But since it's with Rahu and it's also aspected by Saturn, it brings in a lot of constructivity for you. However, you may fail to recognize it because this is going to come to you in a very unconventional manner. To look beyond the surface and to see a blessing in disguise is what you have to learn from this transit. It may show a lot of hardship, but this hardship will turn into a golden period for you as Jupiter moves into Bharani and finally into Kritika Nakshatras. So over a period of 1 year, you will find a lot of change and transformation in life, and you will have the ability to move higher. Even children for you will be wanting to do something different and will have an out-of-box thought process and will be creative at their best. So give them a help in their creativity. This will also satisfy your ninth house. As your ninth house has Rahu and Jupiter here, it shows your interest into travel into foreign locations, and that is a possibility. It also shows a possibility of people who have an interest into occult moving towards Tantra, which is understanding yourself more deeply. But for those moving into the darker and deeper side of Tantra, one needs to understand and work there with a lot of caution. Again, Rahu will show its very strong results when it moves into the 8th house and Jupiter when moves into the 10th house. Then they will be able to bring forth your ability of changing homes, or for that matter, seeing your career, your work in a new light. But this is the time when you have to lay down those foundations. So whichever opportunity you find of hard work and creating yourself better, developing a better confidence in yourself, is a time that you need to invest in yourself and grow your confidence to different levels. As far as your health is concerned, health is going to be all right for you. You need to be able to eat properly and eat things which are good for you. On a home front, don't be depressed, don't get agitated, keep your emotions at an all-time high. And you can also worship Goddess Durga on Thursdays to give you the strength that you feel you need to gather whenever you are getting in a low state. For the Virgo Lagna, it is a time when you need to, for those into occult, to go into deep sadhana. It will help you to raise your bar, your spiritual bar, and your intuitive bar to a great degree. Also, for those investing in companies and policies, it is a time to invest in mutual fund policies. It is also a time to invest in insurances and provident funds, etc. For those who are into occult, learning and doing research in an area, in a zone which you are not comfortable in, will bring in great results at a later date. But for that, you have to start laying the foundations right now. For those who are into the healthcare industry, it is a good time to develop your skills in many different ways. But for those who are having health issues, you need to be very careful about your health for the next 1 year. And following alternate therapies is good, but you also need to put in time to exercise and to go into seclusion. This will help you regain, restore your body and mind to a great deal. This is the time, this is what you can do when both Rahu and Jupiter are in Ashwini Nakshatra together. This is the time when the rejuvenation is working greatly in your favor. Don't wait till Jupiter moves more into the Rasi. As far as home is concerned, this is a time when you can buy a landed property or you can buy a house, which at the moment does not seem to be a very good investment. That investment will come down to giving you better results after a period of a year and a half. Let's talk about the Libra Lagna. For the Libra Lagna people, for those who want to get married, it is a time that you can find out about a spouse, or you can easily get married, but make sure it could be somebody who's different from your culture. It could be in terms of caste, creed, or religion. It is also a time that if those wanting to go into partnerships in terms of business, can go into a minor partnership with one of the employees and benefit well from it. No matter how small the partnership, you're likely to benefit from it in very different ways. It is also a time that you can find yourself on a platform that you'd never thought before, and that could be really uprising for you. As far as your radical thought process is concerned and your ability to understand things in a very logical and a different manner is concerned, this is what attracts others towards you. And if you have an ability to present things in a different manner, that is also a possibility you can work on. For those who want to conceive, it is a time for the second child, it is a time that you should think about conceiving or going for IVF, or as the case may be from your chart. And by the end of the year, you could be having a healthy baby. You should also be very careful about whom your child is associating with, because this is likely to leave a lasting impact on your child. So your child could be wanting to make partners or associating with very different kind of people. So be very careful on that front. Till a long period of time, there are things that you've always considered to be as your hobby. Well, this is now the time when you can convert your hobby into something which will pay you on the side and will be good for you. Pay attention to that fact also. For this Scorpio Lagna, this is the time when you need to think about your health and your debt issues and your enemies also. Well, this is also a time when you need to put in any solution that you have about your health to practice, and practice it regularly, diligently. Only then is your health going to come to a great place of improvement. It is a time that you be very careful what you eat. Don't eat too less. Neither should you indulge too much, because you could be then moving towards the issues related to your eating, absorption, and stomach related issues. This is a time when you should be thinking of doing some charity, some social work, which is beyond what you have normally done so far as a charitable person. You need to somehow tap in a different source, which will also take care of your health energies. For those who are into a love relationship and want to carry it further, please wait for some time. And for those who want to head for separation, this is also a time when you can do so. The major period of your time, as I see, will be dedicated towards children. You would be wanting to either develop a portfolio, financially help your children in developing a portfolio for themselves so that it can give them good returns on a later date, or you could be looking into different and better educational opportunities for your children, which again will give them a great advancement in their life. This is something that you can do well. It is also a time when you might want to feel a change in your work, in your work prospects, and that can also bring in certain amount of structurization there. So on the whole, there's a lot on your plate, but you need to be careful about your health, because if you are able to maintain your health, only then can you do all that is placed on your plate with that Jupiter transit. For the Sagittarius Lagna, as your fourth lord moves into the fifth house, aspecting the ninth and the Lagna, there's a lot of futuristic evolution that comes your way. First and foremost, your children may be taking a lot of leeways, and they may be making decisions, taking things in their hands, doing things that can leave you perplexed. If you agree, if you don't agree not to disagree with them, then that's just fine, but don't push them to go the regular way, because their decisions are going to be good after a period of time, and that is also something you will be able to agree on after a period of a couple of years. For those who are into the area of uh, advertisement, or who want to be creative about their business, this is a great time to put forward advertisements that are quirky, that are different, and yet hold a lot of substance. Then you will be able to make your mark in the world of advertisement, in the world of production and products, and would be able to gain good from there. Your desire to earn huge incomes in that case will also be fulfilled. For those who are going into mantra shakti and are going into upasana, learning a new mantra, doing a new mantra, especially during the time of eclipses, which will happen twice later in the later part of the year, and once more during the month of May, you will fare better if you do the mantra with the protocol that needs to be followed. A love life can also be seen in the offing, but a suggestion coming your way is to be very careful whom you are associating yourself with. Before you start a constructive relation, make sure that you are aware of the person from all ends, and you do not fizzle out of the relationship halfway through. Stay put and work your energies there. As we move for the Capricorn Lagna, your third lord moves into the fourth house. It is your chance of doing, creating in terms of your home, in terms of your research, and in terms of your sadhana, experience, experiment, and your expenditures, as well as your explorations. So quite a lot of ease coming up your way. So when we go about first thinking about the home front is likely to see a lot of change. You are likely to either want to move into a different city. You are also likely to take up a different house, a different home. You can do that, but please do that with a lot of care and caution. Again, you're likely to spend a lot of time in a different way with your mother or with your maternal cousins. They're likely to bring you a lot of happiness. Traveling to exotic locales with your family is a good way to bond with them, and spending time away from the maddening crowd is also something that will keep you happy and fixed. Research is something you will do very good in the next 9 months. So for those students who are wanting to study higher, it is time that you research you put in a lot more effort in the subject that you're studying into, and more than what your syllabus demands. You will see it will help you on a later date. For those who like reading, who like researching and studying, you're likely to do your research into different cultures or into different ways than what you're already accustomed to. You are also likely to face a lot of changes in your profession, and you will have out-of-box opportunities to bring about change in your profession. Don't be afraid, take them. And you can also be changing jobs in terms of an MNC. So for those looking out for that job change, this is a perfectly good time to move towards it. Another thing that you are likely to face is a change in your sadhana. So those who are doing a lot of sadhana, if you want to change in your do some change, they're good, and don't talk about it. Otherwise, it'll bring in the unwarranted and unnecessary attention, which may not be very good for it. In fact, will be detrimental for your sadhana. From the money point of view, you can be into earning or inheriting certain amount of legacy. So stay focused and do good. It could also be a possibility that any of your policies could be maturing and give you a lot of money from there. For the Aquarius Lagna, this is a time when your second lord transits into your third house, and your Kama Sthanas, that is third, the fifth, and the 11th, become very active. It's a time that you need to form a new bond, a friendlier bond with your siblings and your friends. Think about an out-of-box approach that will help you gel well with them. For those who are going in for partition of their property, need to understand that at this point you may feel that it has not been just for you. But at a later stage, you might find an appreciation in the property. So please do not make a hue and cry about it. This is a time when your imagination is going to be very different and on a different level, and it can bring in a lot of results for you. All you need to do is not move away from your path, stay focused, stay on that path, and tap into that energy of the different level of imagination it brings for you. It needs to have that courage of staying put on that place. Know that you can and you will, and you can always get into a very creative way of writing and creative way of expressing yourself through your speech also. All you really need to do is make sure that your speech or your writing is authenticated by data in the background, so that you know what you're speaking, and so do your readers or your listeners. This is a time when you can find multiple sources of income, and it will help you grow. So do explore that avenue also. Your second child could also be moving into an area where she or he will find it very broad in horizon, and help them explore that area also. For those marrying, spouse can have very different, very constructive ideas, and this is a time when you will also grow along with that spouse of that kind. So please go in for that kind of a relationship. For the Pisces Lagna people, this is a transit which is of your Lagna Lord into your second and 10th house. So this transit is likely to see you getting money, and huge amount of it, from foreign shores. Be very careful how you make that investment and how you tap into that area. This is a time that calls for reasoning and analysis on a different level altogether, which is very out of box, which is very not heard of before, so that you can tap into the opportunities which are coming your way. Your children, your education is also likely to see a turn of events for you. And there are so many opportunities waiting to be encashed. You need to sit down, prioritize, and encash those opportunities which are coming your way. One more thing is you need to be very careful whom you're doing your projects for, and do a strong background check. Otherwise, there's that issues that you may have to face on a later date. For those who are sitting for competitive exams, you are not supposed to go about doing things, learning things in a routine manner. There are instances when a lot of out of box things are going to happen. So be very careful about them. The best way to structureize things is to pen them down. Don't shy away from structurizing things by penning them down. Foreign investments are good. Crowdfunding is good, but be very sure from where you are attracting your foreign investments and at what rate of interest. Otherwise, it can pose a problem at a later date. So this brings us to the end of all the Lagnas, that is from Aries to Pisces, the transit of Jupiter. I repeat, it's a different combination. It's a different effect we are going to see throughout, because Jupiter is with Rahu and is also aspected by Saturn. Gives a lot of structure to what Jupiter has to bring to our lives. Do write in your opinions, your comments, and we'll meet you again with a different transit.
Please hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.